Hey, it's Steve here from A470 Soaring, and we're back with part 2 of the J&H Aerospace micro bird of time build. Now, if you watched the first video, and I'll put a card up in the corner up here, so you can link back to it. But if you watch that video, you'll have seen that at the end of the video, there was a bit of a mishap with the tail of the fuselage, where my dog thought that the fuselage was a stick and decided he wanted to play with it, and made a bit of a mess of the rear end. Well, I've been able to get out and get a bit of light filler, and I've glued it back together and filled it, and if we can get it focused in here. Okay, so there we have it. That's that repaired, and I'm just about to start covering it. So let's crack on and get this bit done. Okay, so it's been a little while since I started, but we're all covered up, and the tail skid has been added to it, and yeah, all done. Easy enough to do. Went on quite nicely. So that's done. Next is to get to work on the tail feathers. I've already done some. That's not glued yet. It will need to be. So this has got to be, I need to fit that to the rear of the fuselage, and I've got the control horns to fit to both the elevator and to the rudder. Those are the next jobs. Once I've done that, then I guess it's fitting the servos. So we'll crack on. So it's been a few days since the last clip, and the reason for that was because of the radio gear I was going to fit. Now, I've been a high-tech user for years, and I have absolutely loved this radio, the Aurora 9. It's been amazing. But since high-tech gave up producing transmitters, it's become increasingly difficult to obtain receivers, particularly generic receivers rather than high-tech's own brand, which I get. You know, the manufacturers of receivers don't really want to put any effort into a dying brand, I guess. So I already had some what we call micro radio gear. So there was a four channel minima receiver here. I mean, it's a tiny little thing. I mean, for me, for the models I usually fly, I mean, that's tiny. I had high-tech HS40 nano servos. Now these weigh about 4.5 grams, something like that, each. And you'd think, okay, there's nothing, it doesn't weigh anything. And I also had a 2-cell 300 milliamp LiPo battery. And altogether, those parts going into the model weighed 32 grams. Okay, now adding it all up together with the weight of the model and the weight of the electrics, and this is before maybe having to add any weight to balance the plane, the plane was going to come out at 102 grams, and the weight of all this together was 32 grams. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? I've got a decision to make here. Because I need to future-proof myself as well, radio-wise, because it is going to become more difficult to obtain radio gear for the high-tech. I mean, the servos doesn't seem to be a problem, but receivers, unless I'm buying the own brand, which can be a bit pricey, you know, I'm not going to be able to get them. So I decided, well, I had to make a decision. What was I going to do? And I decided I was going to buy a new radio system. Now, that in itself posed other problems. Okay, so I was a bit unsure about going down the open source TX route. Would I be able to program a model? Well, doing a bit of research, it seems that it's not as daunting as I first thought it was going to be. So I've been and got the Taranis QX7 Access. So we're going to try that out. Now, the problem with this is it uses the Access protocol. Okay. Now, when I was doing my research into buying other radio gear for this model, the micro receiver, the only micro receiver I could find used D8 protocol, and you can't use D8 with Access. So I did a bit more research and came up with this. Now this is a module. If I can get it open. So this is a module, and this will just fit straight into the back of the Taranis, and that will give me the D8 protocol. Now, okay, it was £23 for that, which isn't a great deal of money in the grand scheme of things. It'd be a lot just for one model, but I've had a few ideas. I've really enjoyed building this. It's been a real pleasure. And I'm not a builder. I haven't thought of myself as a builder, but I've really enjoyed building that because it's so simple, uncomplicated. So I've got my eye on one or two other models that I'd quite like to build, maybe for next autumn into spring next year. So we'll see how that goes. But so I bought the Taranis, which was under £100, you know. So and then the module, and I bought the radio gear for this model. So I've now got a single cell 300 milliamp battery. I've now got two very tiny servos. These weigh 1.7 grams each. Okay, so and then the receiver, well, it's the smallest receiver I've ever seen. It's absolutely tiny. Okay, this is just going to be like a park fly model. It's so small, you're not going to be able to fly it very far anyway before it disappears and becomes a dot, you know. So this is tiny. And the total weight of all of that comes to 14 grams compared to the 32 grams of the high-tech version. So that would make the all-up weight before adding any weight for balancing of the model from at 84 grams. So that's from 102 grams with the high-tech gear down to 84 grams with this micro gear. So as you can see, I've got the tail now fitted. All I have to do now is fit the radio gear, connect it up to the control push rods. These are just carbon rods. There's a little bit of wire in the end with a Z bend in them. Okay, and at the end, the wire Z-bends are just held in with some heat shrink. And so I can adjust those before gluing them in. So those will be my adjustment, very light. So that's all there is to do now. Just got to fit the radio gear into the model, balance it up, and then we can go out and we can fly this baby. So that's what I'm going to do now, and that's where I'm going to leave part 2 of this video, because it's just fitting the electronics in. All the construction has been done, nothing more to do now, just got to fit the wing on it, balance it up, and off we go. Okay, so I'm going to do a part 3 of the video, and the part 3 will be trimming the model and also flying it. I hope soon I'll be able to fly it off a slope, but I have got a tow hook to fit onto it, and I've got some rubber, so I'm going to make up a high start and we'll try it on the high start as well. So if you've enjoyed the previous video and this video, then please give it the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and watch out for the next video. Until then, wherever you are, stay safe and happy flying.